back, everyone. It is Sunday sit-down time. As you can see, we have a very special guest in the house, Mizzou women's basketball's own Grace Slaughter. Grace, thanks for joining us, making your Sunday sit-down debut. How's the summer been going for you?
It's been going great. We've been working hard and just having a lot of fun, getting to know the new players and new coaches as well. But thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, we were talking before we sat down here. I feel like we're seeing so many new faces and new head coaches. It's kind of been a whirlwind of the past few months. Tell me about how the past few months have been for you, kind of adjusting to everything and working with Kelly as well.
For sure. I mean, I can remember March and just how it kind of went down. I was super excited when Mizzou announced Coach Harper as the next head coach, and just getting to know her and what, ideas and, what she wants to have happen at Mizzou, and specifically, women's basketball was just super cool. And then on top of that, summertime, just getting to know the new players and getting to actually be on the court with Coach Harper and the new staff has been a blast. And summertime is definitely, the best place just to get to know people on and off the court, because you have a little bit more time for that, but it's been a lot of fun.
What stuck out to you when Coach Harper kind of had those initial conversations to you? What kind of stuck out most about her vision for this program to you? For
sure. I mean, just her, drive. She's been in the SEC before. She knows how tough of a league it is, and I just think, she has a fire lit under her to play well, play fast, play up and down, and that was something that really stuck out to me. SEC, you're playing against just such strong and fast women, so being able to compete in this league and compete at a high level takes a lot, and it takes experience, and I was just excited to hear that from her.
Coach Harper off the court, tell us a little bit about her. I mean, I talked to her assistants a little bit. She seems like, she's very family driven, very fun person. Kind of tell us a little bit about Kelly off the court.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I actually vacationed in Florida for spring break, and we were only about 20 minutes away from her. And so if you know Coach Harper, she also loves horses, and she has a couple. And so my mom actually got to go ride horses with her, and we got to be with her off the court. And you're right, very family oriented. She has her other hobbies, has already mentioned just having the teams over for get-togethers. We already had multiple different things we've done, had a lake trip to Lake of the Ozarks, and so just being able to build those relationships off the court helps us as a team and helps us get closer, but also helps our chemistry on the court as well.
Well, we mentioned a lot of these new players. What do you like about what you guys were able to bring in this offseason as far as, the transfers and new players?
For sure. I think we've brought in, a lot of speed, a lot of guards, and I think that is the fun thing about the SEC is that, you get to play so many different styles of basketball, but especially quick and fast, and I feel like that's how practices have felt. We've really pushed the ball, gotten to be out in transition, and if you know about basketball, that's one of the most fun ways to play. So that's been fun, and I think just the girls we've brought on, are really buying into the program and what Coach Harper has to say and what some of us returners, have to say about being here at Mizzou before. So it's been great to get to know everyone, and I think a really good group of girls.
Well, it's funny you say fast, because when I talked to all the assistant coaches, they said it's going to be fast-paced. There's going to be a lot of scoring. You have a lot of shooters on the team. Do you feel like there's kind of a difference in maybe style of what you guys are going for this year?
Yeah, no, I think a little bit. I think, if we can get a shot up as early in the shot clock as we can, I think that would be, a plus. And I'm just really excited to keep growing in that. We're really working on our transition right now, and I know, we'll get to set plays and other stuff later, but yeah, I think everyone's just really bought into what the coaches have to say and how they want us to play, and I think we're all really excited for it.
To have, Abby back and Hannah and obviously Avery as well, to have, that kind of core back, what did that mean to you to kind of have people that you've come up with in this program back?
For sure. It's been super special, especially, multiple of those girls I even played competitive basketball with in middle school and high school as well. So getting to just, have those relationships built for a long time, it's super special. And I think that also just really helps the new girls feel more welcome when they come in and know that we've been here for a little while, so we can help them with the small things, whether that's fastest way to class or, getting your food in between practice. Like some of those small things I think really help with us being here. But on top of that, just being very welcoming to the new girls and making sure they feel right at home as we do.
Has this summer felt a little bit different for you? I mean, we've talked, all off season. Grace Slaughter's the face of the program, one of the big faces of this program. Has that kind of felt like a little bit of a difference, responsibility, maybe going into your junior season?
A little bit, but I think, it's just something that I've wanted to be a part of, and I've, looked up to women's basketball and just Mizzou for so long. So getting to be here and getting to be in this position of just, wanting to help Mizzou women's basketball grow and, be in a good spot has just been, a blast. And I think, being with Coach Harper and being with this staff and this group of girls just helps elevate me every day. And I hope I can help elevate them too. So it's been special, and I've, loved the role, and I just hope I can keep growing, vocally and as a basketball player this year.
The role has gotten you some kind of cool opportunities. Obviously got to go to the Cardinals game pretty recently. We were talking, you grew up on the Kansas City side of the state. Was that a kind of an interesting experience for you?
It was. It was a blast though, because I'd actually never been to that stadium before. And I remember when we played St. Louis University my freshman year, we were looking right into the stadium. And so getting to watch the game there was fun, and seeing Coach Harper throughout the first pitch, but I definitely was secretly rooting against them during it. But it was still a fun experience, and it was fun to be with the team there.
Well, half the state will forgive you. Don't worry about that. But, when you're talking about Coach Harper, and obviously you are stepping into this leadership role, she said she looks at you as one of the leaders of this team. What are some areas that maybe you're hoping to grow this year in that leadership aspect as you step into your upperclassmen years?
Yeah, for sure. I think something that helped me, looking when I was a freshman, I really looked up to Haley Frank, and I felt like she did a great job of just being vocal and helping, bring others up, even just little texts before the game, and some of those small things meant, the world to me as a freshman. And I know we might not have some of those younger players, but we still have players that are just looking to feel welcomed and, feel a part of this team. So I think definitely being vocal on and off the court will be big. And just some of the other things, if you have workouts outside of practice, sending a text to tell the group what you're doing. Some of those things just, can help girls get in extra work, but also just build those relationships.
You played a couple years in the SEC. You've done pretty well for yourself. What's been your biggest, I guess, adjustment to playing SEC, and now, you have that experience under your belt heading into this later half of your career?
For sure. I mean, I think playing and just the experience has helped me and helped the game slow down a little bit, even though it's never really that slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one thing I've just always noticed is just the physicality of the SEC, and, how aggressive you have to be. So yeah, I think, I didn't realize how important, the weight room was, and even just conditioning, being in shape and getting game loads, in the off season means the world, so your body's used to it for when you actually, have weeks where you might play 3 games, but playing, in SEC season, playing 2 really physical, hard games. So just, making sure your body is prepared, and diet, sleep, all the above makes the difference.
Where do you feel like your game has maybe grown the most in the last 2 years?
Yeah, for sure. I think one area I would love to say has grown is probably my mid-range. I think I came in really just probably wanting to shoot threes and straight line drive, so being able to grow and just not drive into the 6'5"ers down there, just getting to the mid-range. But I'd also like to say I feel like I've gotten stronger in the weight room, and tried to be more vocal with the team, but there's always room for improvement in those areas as well.
Well, a fun asset to the schedule this year, Kansas is coming back. Is that interesting for you, being from that side of the state? Maybe did you get to see it more when you're growing up? Obviously, you're a Mizzou fan growing up, I do know that. So.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's funny. Seeing that, I was so excited, and it actually reminded me, I want to say I was about 9 when I first actually went to a KU women's basketball game, and I actually wore a Mizzou shirt, and I can only tell you, I know, that's exactly what my mom said. She warned me. She's like, you were going to get yelled at, and I did, but I took it, and yeah, I'm super excited for that game, and I'm super excited for it to make a comeback. That's been a rivalry I've looked up to and watched ever since I was young, so being able to actually play in it, is super exciting.
Well, you're in such an exciting time for women's sports right now. Obviously, you see what Sophie Cunningham is doing. She's gone national as the enforcer this past month, right?
Yeah.
How exciting is it to be playing during this time where women's sports is getting, the deserved attention that it is getting?
It's so exciting. I mean, just being able, I can remember watching the WNBA when the crowds were, not as big as they were now, and just being able to watch any WNBA game and, see how packed it is in there is just super exciting. And I just hope we can carry that over to women's basketball as well.
Yeah, obviously when we were talking to Kelly right when she was getting hired, a goal of yours is obviously to get to that next level. How exciting was it for you to kind of talk to her about that and, things that you can work on to, try to achieve that dream?
Yeah, it was super exciting. Just being able to talk with her about those things and listen to, the other players that she has done it with was very exciting to hear and talk about, talk about strategy and what we can do in the next couple of years to try to prepare me for that, but also, help Mizzou women's basketball as well. So it's been very exciting to get to talk with her about that.
Well, it's been fun to see how excited the fans are for the upcoming season. If you had a message to the fan base ahead of this upcoming kind of new slate of a season, what would you say to the fan base?
I would say just get ready. We're working hard and we're preparing for an awesome season of basketball where we're going to play fast, have fun, and hopefully win a lot. So
awesome. Well, Grace, appreciate you making the time. Hope you have a good rest of the summer.
Thank you. You as well.
Awesome. For the rest of you guys, we'll be right back after the break.